You're listening to Leader Tribe, where leaders are made daily, but never in a day. We're talking skills that are relevant, researched, and ready for action. Apply these and you will grow. Here's your daily dose of growth with Dr. Rob McClelland.
Hello friends, Dr. Rob. How in the world are you? I trust you're doing fantastic today. Hey, I've got some follow-up, some of the things that I've been thinking about from my time in Las Vegas. If you don't know what I'm referencing, check out last week's podcast. It's the BYN Build Your Network event I went to with Travis Chappell and all of the good people in his life. An event that totally over-delivered, and I'm very thankful. As a matter of fact, as I'm doing this podcast, I just finished recording a podcast for somebody else, which I do a ton of those and I enjoy it. This is his name's Kevin Mills. His podcast is about to launch. He's probably got 8 or 10 episodes in the bank, and it's going to be called Screw the Side Hustle. That's Screw the Side Hustle. And I'll let him explain that to you. Basically, by the time this podcast comes out, he should be up and running and have his very first, so you can get in on him from the very beginning. Here's what I want to talk about, though, my need to embrace my failure and then level up as a leader. Okay, so what that means is, what I'm really talking about is your need to embrace some of the failures in your life and to continue leveling up as a leader. I don't know if you've ever gone over to Instagram. I just went on Instagram a few moments before starting this podcast to see, do I have any followers? And it ends up I have 430 followers. And I'm following 289 people. Here's what's so interesting. I give my VA, my admin, access to that account to post some things on that account. So apparently they've followed some people they thought it would be interesting for me to follow, because there's 0% chance I went out and followed 289 people. Having said that, did you know Facebook owns Instagram? Some of you probably knew that, some of you didn't, but let the record show, I'm going to own Instagram. And when I say it, I'm just going to say I'm going to own it. That is the new space I'm going to be moving into, and I'm getting some professional help. Well, Rob, where did you even locate that help? That was by going to Travis's event out in Las Vegas. Let me introduce you to a name. This guy is a rock star. His name's Zach Benson. He actually, a Korean kid who was adopted by a U.S. family, grew up, I think he said, in Iowa, of all places. So he was the only Korean hanging around at his school, some of those things. Got beat up a lot, but what an awesome young man he is. And he has figured out how things work on Instagram, how they promote things versus what things they penalize you for or put you in the penalized box. And so he started a company. It's called Assistagram. Instead of Instagram, it's Assistagram. Again, Zach Benson. I'm going to be on a phone call, a 30-minute phone call with him on the 26th of this month of November, and going to be looking at when they work with you, how do they do it? What are the beginning packages, something like that. If you're listening to this podcast and you would like to get in on conversations like that, or I can help you in those areas, I'd love to have you in on the phone call. It's going to be awesome. So here's what I'm planning to do, though. I want to take charge of my future, specifically on Instagram and on TikTok, because who I am, who I'm wired up to be, the dad you never had, 3 hugs and a kick in the rear. I want to be able to do that and to bring that and to bring value in those realms. And so I have to go out and figure out how to do that. So here's what I wanted to let you know about what I've learned about Instagram just in the last couple of weeks. Number one, Instagram is changing their logarithms. They do all the time, as does Facebook and others. But on Instagram, you're not going to be able to do likes anymore. You're not going to be able to see other people's likes, how many people have liked something or not, because they don't want people to follow others, look and say, oh, not enough people really liked that, so I'm going to bail on this person. They want you to just be honest. Did you like it or not like it? And so even the way that they're hiding those likes, all the people in the background at Instagram will know which stories were really liked. Think of it this way. Instagram as a company, they only have one goal, and that is to keep you on their platform rather than some other platform as long as they can. And so if they have people that you're following where their stuff is interesting and you're getting dialed in, you're on their platform. They will promote you. If you're doing things that are taking people off of their platform, they will put you in the penalty box, and not as many people will see those types of posts. And so knowing that and understanding that and getting that as a businessman, I want to now say, what's it going to take to blow it up? So do me a favor, and that is right now you can go over to Leader Tribe on Instagram, and just see how many followers I have. If you want to follow, great. If not, no blood, no foul. That doesn't matter. But then what I want you to do is to say, let's check back in 6 months, because I'm not sure when I'm going to start this, but let's see how many followers I have. And it will be far more than 20x. I'm guessing it will be more than 100x easily, probably more than 1,000x from where I am right now. And it's only because I'm learning how to do this, going to get into some of the groups of people where they promote each other, do it the right way, get some organic traffic, and put out content. All of that to say, dude, I'm 58 years old and I'm learning this and I'm bringing it, okay? You can do it. What is it that you need to learn today? And then how can you say, I'm gonna start with 10 minutes a day. That's all I'm gonna work on this. But if you work on anything 10 minutes a day for over 2 weeks, you're gonna be so much better, so much faster, because all the good information you need to get is at your fingertips. Hey, this is Dr. Rob at Leader Tribe. I'm still growing. What area are you gonna grow in? That's for you to figure out, but we will talk again, hopefully tomorrow. Until then, much love. I'm out. Hello, Leader Tribers. How in the world are you? I trust you're doing fantastic today. We're continuing our conversation from yesterday, specifically talking a little bit about Instagram. I learned so much just in the short time that I was with Zach Benson, the guy I mentioned to you that I'm going to be on a phone call with soon. And one of the things that he said that was just kind of mind-blowing to me is that we all have a username, so your title has a name, but then in that username space, you can put in there whatever you want. And so if you're going to be sort of in that glamour area, instead of listing your username again, because they already know what site you're on, you can put in there glamour/beauty/makeup, or you can put in there leadership/self-growth/learning. Anything that you want so that people can find you, those all of a sudden become hashtags, keywords. And so if you get free advertising, because they're not just looking for your name, they're looking to get into certain fields, certain things that are out there. And so on your Instagram account, the guy's talking about, here's 2 or 3 ways that you can just kind of tweak your account to make a big difference. Now, as you know, I'm not an Instagrammer now. I'm about to be, and I'm going to go big in that space. But the reason I'm going big is not to go big and not to become an influencer. The reason I'm going there is because that is where a ton of people are, where most of the social media has been going these days. They're into TikTok, where I believe I can add value and help people. And so all you have to do on Instagram is go to edit profile, then your username, and then when it's asked for your name, just put in your keywords right there. And so as a result, you can even put in emojis, other things there. It's just amazing. But as a result of just little learning things like that, you and I would have the privilege of having more influence that we can use wisely, that we can use for the right reasons. Now, why do I share that with you? Well, if that's going to help you on Instagram, great. If not, it's no big deal. It wouldn't have helped me, because I would have sat here listening to this podcast going, yeah, what's Instagram, or how is that? Yeah, I think I have a channel, and even the way that I say I have a channel rather than I have an account or whatever else it is, it just shows you that I don't even know the lingo. But here's what I do know. I'm going to get better. And what I shared with you is just something very small. Friends, that's how you do it. That's how you get better. Remember, last year we went through James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, and the fact that if you will start small and just take a baby step at a time, you're going to grow far more than if you have to sit down and say, I got to figure out Instagram this weekend type of thing. And so get yourself into a good space. There is not anything you can come up with in the world that there's not probably a pretty good YouTube video out there or some other free teaching from somebody who's walked the path ahead of you. So here's where we're going. On your average Instagram post, how many hashtags should you put? And the answer was 10 to 15 on the first one. I'm like, 10 to 15? Are you kidding me? I don't have all day to go. Hashtag now. Let me look that up now. What should I say? But there's ways to have those ready to go, cut and paste them so you don't have to do it, where all of a sudden it will show up in 25 different feeds instead of just one or two if you don't use things like hashtags. Rob, how do you know all this? Because I sat there and listened to somebody who was a little bit further down the road than I was. Hey, great news. Are you ready? Anything that you want to do, anywhere that you want to go, there's somebody who's gone a little bit further down the road than you, and you can learn from them and you can do it for free. All it's going to cost you is some time and some effort, and you will be a champion in those areas. So friends, here's where we're going to end today's podcast. What is an area that you would like to grow? What's an area that you would like to get better? When I ask that question, if anything in the world comes to mind, then A, you could do something about it if you want, and B, you can help others in that space as well. That happens when you decide, okay, if there's one area I could grow between now and the end of the year. When you're listening to this podcast, you've got about 40 days until the end of this decade. The decade of the teens will be gone forever, and we will be into the 20s. In 40 days, when you go into this new